Okay, welcome to today's presentation. This is the first episode of Killing Millions to Make Millions series. Guys, welcome. I am glad to be here. I am your regular presenter and encore on the Chemical Files TV, and my name is Dr. Ekemini Itwen. Today we are going to talk about a very important topic, something you may never have considered. I don't know if you have ever sat down to consider this topic. What if I get poisoned? Mistakenly or knowingly or whatever, you get poisoned. What do you do? So today we are going to talk about the things you need to know about poison and what to do if you find out that you get poisoned or somebody around you gets poisoned, and then how to do it, and then we are going to look at the expectations. So, guys, uh, before you continue, please click on the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel. We are giving you content back to back, very educative content. And so, the best thing you can do to encourage us is to subscribe. And then you can also you can share this particular video. You need to share it so that people will know what they need to do if they get poisoned. It is going to be a kind of lecture, so sit tight and listen step by step. Like I said, it's going to be a kind of lecture. It's not going to be very long, but reasonably long because we are going to cover a lot of areas. This is a very important topic, and so many people have died because of poisoning. You don't know who will be the next. And we are not praying that you get poisoned, but these things may happen knowingly or unknowingly. Those who got poisoned in the past, they never bargained for it. So, guys, to be able to get notifications of our future videos, press the subscribe button, like, and then share. Once again, welcome. Let's continue. So today we are going to look at volume 1, and we will start with everyday poisons and the invisible killers in our homes. Everyday poisons and the invisible killers in our homes. Like I told you, it's going to be a kind of lecture or a kind of seminar. So I am going to take it slowly and then step by step so that you can understand. If I were you, I will bring a pen and paper so that I can take down some points that are of interest. So I will be presenting on this outline. Very, very important when poison comes home. What to know and what to do. So let's begin. No time to waste, man. What is a poison? Poison, poison, poison. Some people even bear the name poison. The question is, what is a poison? A poison is any substance that, when taken into the body in the wrong amount, mark the word wrong amount, or in the wrong way, or by the wrong person, causes harm or death. So it means if you take it in the wrong amount, or you take it in the wrong way, or maybe the wrong person takes it could cause harm or it could cause death. If there is anything like that, then that is a poison. Let me pause and say something. How many of you have known about marijuana? There are people that can smoke marijuana or drink a tincture of it from it and all, and then they go their way, nothing happens. There are people that when they take a little, man, they pass out. That means that marijuana has become a poison because it is taken by the wrong person. I want to say that a poison doesn't need to have bitter taste. It doesn't need to smell foul. In fact, some of the most dangerous poisons have no smell at all. They have no color, and they have no obvious sign, so you can just take it until it becomes too late. Even your food, the food you eat, can be a poison. Did I say that even your food can be a poison? In toxicology, we normally say that all foods are poisons, but it is the dose that differentiates a food from a poison. Let's say it again. All foods are poisons, but it is the dose that differentiates a food from a poison. Meaning that if you eat gari so much quantity, it can become a poison, it can harm, and it can also kill. All foods are poisons. The only difference between a poison and a food is what? The dose, the amount that is taken. So how can you get poisoned? Poison can enter your body in several ways. It can be swallowed, maybe drinking a contaminated zobo, a contaminated palm wine, a contaminated alcohol. Sometimes in Benin City, alcohol was contaminated with methanol. Methanol is a very lethal chemical, and the people that drank it in the name of sapele water, the rest is history. So many people died in the process. Poison can also enter your body by inhaling, like breathing in the fumes of generator or breathing in the fumes of a toxic insecticide spray. It can also be absorbed through the skin, like pesticides, like corrosive creams. Some of us rub creams and all the cream gets absorbed into your body. Over time, it causes harm and sometimes death. It can also be injected, like the venom of a snake bite. When the snake bites, it injects a venom. Or some people inject toxic drugs into other people or themselves using a needle or a syringe. So these are the ways that toxic poisons can enter into your body. I also want to look at the forms which poison do come. Poison may come in many forms, and it is often hiding in plain sight. Poison can be in chemical form, example your bleach, your kerosene, the sniper, the battery acid, even some toilet cleaners. In chemical form, they can be biological poisons, example malaria in rotten foods, example fungi in moldy breads, example viruses in unclean water. Poisons can also come from plants and animals. Some mushrooms are poisonous, and if you consume them, it can result to death. Cassava that is not properly processed contains a high proportion of cyanide, which is very poisonous. Poison from snakes, that is an animal also. There is this frog, is it frog or toad that shout? Now, hunters used to collect a lot of them, and then they use the arrows that they used to, you know, hunt their animals. Those arrows, they use it to, hit on the head of the frog. What do? They are picking the poisons that are available on the heads of that frog, so that when the poison sticks to the stick and they hit an animal with it, the animal cannot go alive. We also have synthetic additives and adulterants, examples, chemicals that are added to fake or preserve foods. Some things like formalin in meat. You have heard about camalin 40 that is used in catching fishes. In fact, it kills fishes. We also have carbide, calcium carbide in fruit. We are going to look at this one after the other. So what do we take from all this? Poisons are not only what you see with a skull and crossbone level. Okay? It can be anything that can harm your body if it enters your mouth, or if it enters your nose, or if it enters your skin, or if it enters your blood. So if you eat, drink, rub, or breathe in anything, and it begins to spoil your body or kills you slowly, that thing is what we call a poison. So you see, what we are going to talk about is not just the swallowing, the sniper, we are going to encompass all forms of poisons. And then you see how to deal with it. So what do we take? Even good things or delicious food can become poison. The question is, how does this happen? When you take too much of that, for instance, if you take overdose paracetamol, the function that it was meant to perform to make your body better, it begins to perform something else. Or when you use it wrongly, or when it is fake or expired or mixed with something dangerous. Okay? Some people drink fake energy drinks with ethanol. Some people take drugs like paracetamol and then go and take ethanol or take beer. We are going to consider typical examples of this. Some poisons act slowly. We say slow poison. This one is the worst form of poisons. They damage the liver, damage the kidney. Sometimes they can damage the brain over time, like lead in dirty water or mercury in skin lightening creams. How many of you know that some of the skin lightening creams contain mercury? We will talk about that in another episode, but this is just an example. Now, some poisons are instant killers, like your sniper, like carbon monoxide, the one that comes out of generator fumes. In fact, some of them come out of keke, one port engine, or battery acid. Would you like me to give you real life examples of where these poisons are found in everyday homes globally? Well, for the sake of time, if you want me to give you real life examples listed, just hit my inbox, drop a comment, and we will discuss. So, who should watch this video? Maybe anybody that cannot be poisoned. If you're Superman and there's no possibility that you can get poisoned in any form, then there is no need to watch this video. There are also people of interest who must watch this video to the end because they will be glad they do. So if you hear your name, come and line up here. Everyday family, the mother, the father, the black man, the white man. Poison does not know whether you are white or you are black. Poison does not know whether you are a child or you are an American or you are a Chinese or you are an African. Poison does not care whether you are a Muslim or you are a Christian. Poison does not care whether you are a pastor, you are a teacher, you are a medical doctor, or you are a driver. Many people live very far from the hospital. And so, before they are taken to the hospital in matters of poison, they may have died. So, they need to be here to know what they can do before they get to the hospital. Whether you are living in town or whether you are living in the village, you can be a victim of poison. Okay, so practical first aid knowledge, identification of home hazards, preventive tips is very important to our everyday family, and that is what we aim to achieve in this presentation. Mothers, caregivers, domestic workers. These are people that handle food, household cleaning agents, and they handle children daily. So they are the ones that can respond as frontliners during poisoning emergencies. So you have to watch this video. Okay? We will give you a step-by-step guidance on what to do when children or elderly relatives ingest poison. Youth, students, and teenagers. These are the people that are vulnerable to peer pressure or substance abuse or accidental ingestion or even suicidal risk involving poisons. Somebody will go and take sniper because he wants to commit suicide. So they need awareness of the hidden risk. Example, fake drugs, all the drugs that you people take these days, people swallow FO stick, people swallow, they say colos, they call it so many names. You need to know the hidden risk and the clear warnings that are associated with this. Traders and market women, these are people that knowingly or unknowingly sell unadulterated products. Some of them preserve meats with calcium carbide and whatever. We are going to talk about that as we proceed. They need education on long-term effects of profit-driven poison because many of the times They bring these things inside food in order to increase their profits, but they don't know that these things are actually poisons. The teachers, the religious leaders, the local advocates. So these ones are in position to spread this life-saving knowledge through the schools, through religious gatherings, and through community meetings. How will they know if they don't watch a video like this? They need a well-structured information like this so that they can teach others from a very well-informed stand. We need people like World Health Organization because they are the ones for global health risk, for poison prevention, and for emergency preparedness. With this, they can develop specific programs that were not existing on chemical safety and household poisoning. We need food and agricultural organization to be here because for the food safety and prevention of adulteration, these are the peoples that are involved. And so they can develop programs and standards in areas where not available. We also need United Nations environmental program or environment program for regulations on hazardous chemicals, environmental poisoning, and supporting public awareness. UNICEF, your work is for child health and safety. This expose is especially relevant to preventing childhood poisoning. National Program on Chemical Safety, Global Alliance to Eliminate Lead Paints. Please, if you need more information on what these people do, you can pause this slide at any point and then take time and read through. I need to push up so that we can finish this in a very short time. The International Red Cross, the Codex Commission, the major national agencies like FDA, Food and Drug Administration in the United States, Center for Diseases Control and Prevention, major agencies like European Food and Safety Authority, Health Canada, major national agencies like UK's Food Standard Agency. What about our NAFDAC? They should be in the front and center of this expose because we are going to expose directly the failures that NAFDAC are meant to prevent. What about Standard Organization of Nigeria? Are they not the ones that are mandated for product safety, labeling standards, and manufacturing processes? Please, that and some people come and line up here. You need to hear what is happening. Nigerian Center for Disease Control, Federal Ministry of Health, National Orientation Energy, you can help take the National Orientation Agency, you can help take these findings to the grassroots through public campaign. Poison control centers, do we even have one in Nigeria? I doubt if we have. This one is currently non-existing, or if it is existing, it is underdeveloped. This expose, I am advocating for the establishment and strengthening of those ones. If you don't know what to do, contact me. I am going to give you a well-structured direction on what to do. Academic and research institutions. You need this information for your research, food science, toxicology, public health department, chemistry department, toxicology, environmental science and environmental health, food science and technology, biochemistry and pharmacology, even law, policy and regulatory studies. Because these people talk about customer protection laws and enforcement gaps. Okay? Now, researchers and graduate students worldwide, you need a research topic, you need a topic to write a seminar. These kind of things are very interesting. Okay? Pre-hospital treatment guidelines for poisoning, design of low-cost poison response kits, uh, uh, protocols in poison emergencies, and then risk communication strategies in rural communities. That is the work of communication and advocates. Influence of media in shaping customer habits, even educational health, public health campaign materials. You need to be here. Researchers and graduate students worldwide, those in data science, those in epidemiology, the focus areas include statistical tracking of poisoning cases. Like I'm going to give you some cases here. Predictive models in poisoning hotspots, spatial analysis of chemical related issues in urban and regional and rural Nigeria. So, do you want me to list the potential research projects that can be inspired by this expose? Come on, contact the email. Okay, that is my personal email and that is my institutional email. You may think who is presenting. Like I told you, I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm an academic doctor. And one of my areas of research is on toxicology and food chemistry. So that is why I can tell you this authoritatively. We have had enough of the background. So now let's hit the nail on the head. What happens when poison comes home? Guys, listen. This is the main food. Okay? The invisible killers and the everyday poisons in our home. I will start with fish preserved with formalin. Yeah. When you eat fish, you don't know what was used in preserving it. That is the chemical formula of formalin, and it is a solution of formaldehyde, about 37% of the gas in water, often with 10 to 15% methanol added as stabilizer. Now, let's pause there. The guy methanol itself is a killer. So we have formaldehyde in water about 37% with about 15% of methanol. That is what forms formalin. Hmm? This man, you see it like here, is colorless. Look at the color here in this picture. It's colorless, so you can take it as water. Children can decide to drink it as water. But this is what people use to preserve fish. Some people, not everybody anyway. And then we come and eat the fish. Please note that formalin was never meant for food. It is used industrially as a disinfectant. It is used as embalming agent for preserving corpse. So when somebody dies and he is injected, that thing that they inject is formalin. It shock you, Abby? Formalin, they inject dead bodies. And it is used as a tissue hardener in the laboratories. But formalin has found its way into our food preservation, especially in fish that is sold in open market. Some unscrupulous traders soak or spray fish, especially those frozen fishes that are imported or smoked fish, they spray it with formalin. And why do they do so? So that the fish will not decompose, so that they can keep the fish to be looking fresh and extend the shelf life, especially when they don't have facilities for refrigeration. Okay? So the reasons for this practice is not far-fetched. They include for profit motive, they work to make more and lose less. They don't want to incur losses from unsold fish going bad in the sun or from poor storage conditions. So preserving with formalin means fish can last longer, sometimes weeks, without smelling or without changing color. That's what they actually use the formalin for. Okay? Now, some of them use it because of lack of proper cold chain infrastructure. Many markets lack electricity, freezers, and proper cold rooms. So, because of that, they cannot store or preserve their products, and then they do use sprinkles on formalin. And formalin becomes a cheap alternative to refrigeration. Ignorance. Some traders may not understand the toxic effects of formalin to human health. So to them, it's just to keep the fish fresh. Okay? Because of regulatory failure, weak enforcement agencies allow this practice to continue unchecked in many markets. Now let's look at case studies. A woman in a particular town in Nigeria, I don't want to mention name, bought a fresh looking mackerel fish from a vendor, only to realize after cooking that the smell of the fish is very strange and the texture was looking rubbery. Her family experienced stomach cramps, and the next day, hey, what she didn't know, the fish was sprayed with diluted formalin. In many roadside restaurants, especially in areas with no freezers, smoked fish, those smoked fish you eat, they are often soaked in formalin. And at the end, they will be used to prepare soups and stews, saving dozens of people. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I have it on good authority that some important frozen fishes into Nigeria, I don't want to mention the brand name for certain reasons. Before arriving Nigerian ports, they might have already been treated with formalin abroad or sprayed locally before reaching the market. Yes, we have it on good authority. Some abogi even move around the streets. They have a white liquid in a bottle and they do it bang bang bang. They call it lung cleanser for smokers. We have it, we have taken this chemical and have checked it in the lab. From our laboratory experiment, we have confirmed that this substance contains high amounts of formalin. So, dear smokers, when you want to clean your lungs, you are taking in corpse injection. You see how? Why do they use formalin to inject cups? So that they drain water away from it. Drain water and it becomes steam. So that is why when you keep drinking it, you become steam. Your body becomes strong, 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 and then you lose all the flesh in your body. What is the end of this? Now, what are the health effects of formalin in food? We need to talk about this. Formalin is classified as group 1 carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Carcinogen means it can cause cancer. Carcinogenic means cancer causing. And then what surprises most is that there is no safe level for consumption of formalin at all. They say consume small is safe. No, there is no safe limit. So it is cancer causing. The short term effects include vomiting, stomach pains, diarrhea, burning sensation in the mouth or throat, and respiratory difficulties. Now, the long term includes cancer of the stomach, cancer of the intestines or throat, damage to the liver and kidney. Do you have money to go and do liver and kidney transplants? Reproductive toxicity can cause infertility, and then weak immune system, and then chronic fatigue and headaches. These are long-term effects. That means these ones will come in the long run. As you are doing in the short run, you may just experience some respiratory difficulty. If you drink that thing that Abogi used to sell, you find out that it will choke you. The vapor will choke you, and you will not be able to breathe immediately. Okay? Burning sensation in the mouth and in the throat. These are what happens immediately. But in the long term, as you continue to use it, you have a chance of developing cancer of the stomach, damage to the kidney, reproductive toxicity, and weakened immune system. So if your immune system is weakened, it therefore means that if external aggression in the form of sickness comes in, you fall. Attack comes in, you fall. Malaria comes in, you fall. Okay? Something that everybody is going away, you breathe doors, everybody, your own will be a problem. This can be as a result of formalin. Now, children are especially more vulnerable because of their smaller body size and weaker detoxification system. The good news is that some of our bodies can detoxify these things. But what about children? They don't even know how to explain how they feel having taken these things. You keep it in the house somewhere, a child goes to take and thinks it's water and drinks. Hey, come and be here, come and be here, come and be here. Okay? Now, call to action. What do we do when poison comes home? When poison walks down to your house? The first thing I want to talk about consumers. Any fish that smells unusually chemical or has a rubbery feel, okay, or any fish that stays so long and does not rot easily, suspect that fish. What did I say? If the fish tries to have some chemical smell, or as you are touching it, it feels like rubbery something, syrup, and does not rot easily. You keep fish 1 week and it does not rot. I used to see when my mother preserves fish, after some times I used to see some small, small maggots, those small, small maggots come to enter the fish. That is a natural fish. And those maggots, me, what I used to do is that one that one they smell very the sweet, but that's not what we are talking about. But if a fish stays for long and these things don't come, that means the chemical pursues those things away. Suspect such fish. So if a fish is suspicious, boil that fish separately before adding it to food. Boil it separately before you add it to food. Now, when you boil, if the water turns white or smells chemical, please do not eat such a fish. I repeat, as you are boiling the fish, if the water turns white, water should not have color. But if it has some whitish tints and smells like chemical, please discard. There is formalin there. Now, buy fish only from trusted vendors or community fish farmers, and then report suspicious fish vendors to market association or local offices of NAFDAC. How many of you know the local offices of NAFDAC in your local government? Do I have one in my okay. We have one in our local government. If you don't know, please try to know. Okay, just as you know police station and you know hospital, know that number. Go and report so that they may not be able to walk around all the markets and check this. Okay, let's be our brother's keeper. Now, for government and regulators, mandate random price inspection with chemical test kits. We are working on this in my group. Chemical test kits that can detect formalin. Sanction traders. When you see traders that are caught using formalin, sanction them so that it can act as a deterrent to others. Not just covering up everything and money. Some things are very. Before you know, the person comes back. Educate traders and market leaders on the danger of food adulteration. They need this education. Local government executives, because these things happen in the grassroots. What are you people doing? Contact us. We have what it takes to educate these people. Establish community freezer hubs in major markets as alternative to toxic preservation. In Uyo market, do we have freezer hub? In Itam market, do we have freezer hub? In Aba market, in area, in all these markets, there should be a local freezer hubs in the form of cool rooms so that people can come and store their food stores, preserve them, and they should be well taken care of at very minimal prices. Partner with researchers and investigators like us. We can open your eyes to a lot. Okay? No be every fish wey fresh for eye dey fresh for belle. Some people dey use dead body chemical wey dem dey call formalin take soak fish. Eh? E fit run belle like this, e fit spoil your liver, e fit cause cancer. Shine your eye well well. Smell the fish, touch am, boil am. If e no pure, abeg throway am. There is nothing like money compared to your life. Now let's go to the next one. Seasoning cubes and sachets laced with industrial salt. God, please help me that I don't mention names. Seasoning cubes. The name I am going to mention is as example. I am not saying that these ones contain poison. Please quote me right. Some people don't understand what is called seasoning cubes, so I want to use this as example. I'm not saying that it contains because we have not checked experimentally. How many of you have bought Maggi, no cube, tom this and that cube? All those seasoning that the one you see in Indomie, in noodles, that is what we call sachets, seasoning sachets. The other ones are what we call seasoning cubes. Please remember, I am not saying that this one that I'm mentioning contains. I am just citing examples of seasoning cubes. Like somebody is saying examples of animal. You mentioned hen, you mentioned cow, okay? Now, these are everyday cooking essentials in most of our homes. Basically, they are supposed to be produced from proper hydrolyzed vegetable protein, okay, or food grade material. Now, sadly, sometimes some unscrupulous dealers mix lab chemicals from paint shops and agro dealers to make these seasoning cubes. So, due to adulteration, Industrial grade salt, I have mentioned some examples of this salt. Sodium nitrite is an example. Sodium benzoate is an example. They mix monosodium glutamate. This one is not supposed to be toxic, but they mix it at toxic level so that it has that sweetness. Sodium glutamate, what we used to call Ajinomoto in those days. I don't know, but we call it white Maggi. And sometimes caustic soda, they are being used instead of food grade ingredients by illegal manufacturers, not the real manufacturers, but by illegal manufacturers or substandard manufacturers. Okay? Some factory made and repackaged products may even contain residues of construction chemicals. You see some metals that were used in the fabrication this thing, it is inside the seasoning cube. Detergent is inside there. Fertilizers is inside there. Okay? They may bring it because they want to enhance the taste and make it look good or for freshness. Okay? Now, what are the reasons people use this? Because they consider profit over people. Fake seasoning makers use industrial salt because they are cheaper, they are easy to source in bulk, and they help increase the weight of the product as well as the volume. So if it increases the weight, they can produce as many of them as possible. If it increases the volume, they can produce enough and sell and make profit. Many factory seasoning brands in the open market are produced in unhygienic backgrounds with no safety protocols or ingredient control. So the safety protocols are not there. The control of the ingredient. I remember one of my friends, this is an example that I used to produce a chicken feet. I don't want to say what he used to add. He would just add those things, paka, 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 so that the chicken within once the chicken reaches 3 weeks, you start feeding them so that as soon as the chicken reaches 5 weeks, the chicken will be big and heavy. But then, when those things, we take them and it is bioaccumulated in the body, especially children. That's why you see a 5-year-old child, he's walking, he's very heavy, and he's breathing obesity because of bioaccumulation of this thing. That is why I say killing millions to make millions. This is the reason I call this expose killing millions to make millions. Because these people end up making millions from their production or from their sales or from their market. But at the end, they end up killing millions of people to make their own millions. I hope you understand where the topic comes from now. Now, most customers judge seasoning cubes by taste or by aroma. When you put it, if it tastes good or if it is, the aroma is sweet, but they don't know what went into it. And that is what we call customer ignorance. These chemicals may enhance flavor artificially and addictively. One thing is that they are addictive, but they mask the harmful nature of it. They clean up this packaging by deception. The fake producers use colorful sachets that mimic the big brands. And then they use misleading print nutritional claims. They tell you that it contains this, it contains this, it contains this. Many of them have not passed through regulatory approvals. And as a result, they tell you it contains this, it contains this, it contains this. Many of these materials, we have taken them to our laboratory and we try to check whether what is written on the label is the same as what we obtain. For some of them that we have the facilities to do so, I will not tell you what we have found out. But what we have found out is not impressive at all. So look at case studies, typical examples. I don't want to mention that, but a woman bought a cheap seasoning sachet from road vendor. Now she noticed that the tubes dissolved unusually very fast and that the food smells too strong. She kept on using the seasoning cubes because she didn't want to throw it away. Okay? After months, her son began to complain of chronic stomach ulcers and dizziness. The question is, how could she have known that the seasoning was a problem? I forget that. How would she have known? Why would she take no? Say this stomach ulcers and dizziness is because of the seasoning that she has been using and she didn't want to throw away. Okay? Some traders in Onisha, I want to mention this one because it is public knowledge, but I will not mention the product's name. They use industrial monosodium glutamate bought from a chemical shop and then repackaged and resell as local seasoning powder. Many of them are not aware that the material they are buying is non-food grade. Because when you go and buy a chemical, we have industrial chemical, industrial grade chemical, we have analytical grade chemical, we have food grade chemicals, we have pharmaceutical grade chemical. So you don't just go and buy chemical without determining the grade. Some counterfeit seasoning sachets that are sold in Lagos markets, we have found out that they contain detergent grade sodium carbonate. And this one alters the pH in the stomach and damage internal organs. I want to stop there. What are the health effects of these industrial salts that are used in seasoning? The short-term effects, stomach cramps, diarrhea, whether nausea or whatever. I don't know how they call it, but you can see NAUSEA. Allergic reactions like skin rashes, itching, and swelling, tingling and burning sensation in the mouth and throat, sudden headache or dizziness after meals. Now, what are the long terms? Kidney and liver damage. So when you hear kidney problem here and there, that is very rampant these days globally. It is not just alcohol. How can somebody who does not drink alcohol have kidney? Have you ever asked yourself? High blood pressure, hypertension is also an effect. Stomach ulcers and internal bleeding. And which of these ones does not kill? These are slow poisons. They don't kill now, but they kill in future. What about neurological or disorders? Memory loss, tremors? What about hormonal imbalance? What about infertility and the risk of cancer? Again, children and the elderly children, they are specifically or especially vulnerable because again their systems does not detoxify easily. So they have weak detoxification systems. So what do we do? Call to action. Call to action. We need to do something, right? Avoid extremely cheap or unknown seasoning brands. Use the ones that you are familiar with. There's a brand of seasoning that we used to buy. In fact, when I was a child, about 7 to 10 years, I used to sell it. I'm not promoting them, but I can mention them. I'm not promoting them. I can mention them because my grandmother used to use it, my mother used to use it, and we are using it. We are not that. Maggie cube. We are very familiar with this one. So you can go ahead and buy them. No cube. We are very familiar with those ones. So you can go ahead. When it is a particular brand is extremely cheap or unknown in a brand, when we bring in new brand, I'm not saying that other brands are not good, but these are things we should be suspicious of. Check for NAFDAC registration number and expiry date. Many of us go to buy things. We don't care about NAFDAC number. We don't care about expiry date. Especially in Nigeria and Africa, we say gems no they kill Africa. Oh boy, gems they kill. Oh. I know that some of them can check this NAFDAC number, but it's still useful that if you can check, you can still make some filtering. Please note that having a good taste is not just everything. Don't kill yourself because of great taste. If the flavor is too sharp or taste synthetic, it could be toxic. In fact, consider blending your own seasoning. I have given you a formula. But if you need more information, you can contact me. Dry pepper, crayfish, and some local spices. You can create your own seasoning. For government, ban roadside sales of unregistered seasonings in bulk. Ban. We have to be serious with these things because it's people's lives that are concerned. Conduct periodic lab tests on products sold in the open market. Investigate unlicensed seasoning product outlets, especially those that are in the suburbs, and then revise penalties for companies or individuals that are caught using these industrial chemicals in food. If one person is penalized, If one person goes to prison, if one industry is bulldozed, the rest will take it for deterrent. Now, for media and educators, help us run consumer education programs on detecting fake seasoning, like I'm doing so. Create short dramatized skits, those of you that can do skits, radio, TV, or social media for long term effects of this poison. When people watch, at least they will learn. Fund or sponsor studies. The problem we have in Africa, in Nigeria, is that people are not willing to sponsor studies. So all those organizations that we are calling on, we have so many studies we are supposed to have been conducting to help in improvement of health, to help in food safety. But where is the funding? So sponsor these studies that links to these things and then the outcome in various communities. And you have face contact on this. So you don't have to go anywhere. My email and my phone number is available here. For scientists and public health researchers, those in my field, map or benchmark the toxic profiles of different industrial chemicals used in seasoning. You understand what I mean? This is what we are trying to do. Develop safe rapid test kits for monosodium glutamate and chemical salt detection. In one of my research, we are still starting for funding. We want to develop small kits that you can be moving around, that if you want to taste oil, you put there. The one for oil is different. The one for water is different. The one for seasoning is different. The one for fish and all those things that you can taste for these toxic materials. But where is the funding? You can conduct investigation and public studies linking to seasoning adulteration to health outcomes in various communities. No be all seasoning cube or sachet wey sweet for soup dey sweet for belle. I don tell you o. Some people dey use chemical wey dem dey take wash toilet or mix paint. Dem dey carry am do seasoning o. You fit die sharp sharp but na slow poison dey finish body pass. So abeg no chop fake sachet seasoning because e cheap. E fit cost your life. I don talk am. Now let's talk about the third one. Fruits ripened with calcium carbide. Hey, hey, hey. I don't come. Calcium carbide, we call it carbide. When we were small, we used during Christmas, we used to put small water and then the thing will bring out effervescent gas. And then we will put light and it will blow. Boom! That is calcium carbide. Okay? Welders use it to produce oxy-ethane gas that is used in welding. That is calcium carbide. Now, it will surprise you to know that fruits like bananas, plantains, pawpaw, and mango often reach our homes looking fresh, colorful, and ripe. Do you know that many of them are not ripening naturally? They are chemically ripened using calcium carbide. This deadly shortcut is used by farmers, traders, and distributors to rush unripe fruits to the market, creating illusion of freshness and increasing profit. Once these carbide-treated fruits enter the home, they are consumed by children, pregnant women, the sick, the elderly, and this often leads to slow, untraceable poisoning. The reason for this is simple: greed and speed. Traders are not eager to wait until fruits ripe, tomatoes, uh, in large quantity. So they want to ripen the large quantities very quickly to meet the market. So what do? They harvest both ripe and unripe, pack it inside baskets, use the calcium carbide to spread, and then add some water, cover it. Tomorrow when they come, it is ripe. They know how it is done. Natural ripening takes days, but carbide own happens between 24 to 48 hours. This is calcium carbide. This is the grade of calcium carbide. Okay, I have tried to explain the mechanism of ripening from the formation. So when they pour the carbide, okay, around the fruits and they sprinkle some water and they cover it, the acetylene gas, ethane gas that comes out, cannot find out, cannot go out, it absorbs on the surface of the this thing, and then the other one is a little biochemistry. Tomorrow, next tomorrow, the fruit has ripened. Now they are interested, and what happens is that this fruit ripen and look very colorful, so they are interested in the presentation of the fruit instead of the nutrition. They want it to look colorful. Look at the kind of fruit this thing I'm selling. Presentation. So calcium carbide makes fruit look uniformly yellow or orange, and that masks their immaturity. The fruits may look ripe outside, but inside they remain hard, tasteless, and chemical laden. Lack of regulation and surveillance, poor monitoring allows open use of industrial calcium carbide in the market. I know that in Nigeria we have open market system. Okay, people can buy fruits, buy anything produced anywhere. In other countries, these things are controlled. If you have your products, you take it to somewhere, sell it to them. The people now collect it and sell it back to the people that are supposed to, and then they stamp it. They do, these things. We have gone outside there, been to these countries, and have seen how things are working. Okay, now let's look at lack of regulation and surveillance. My slide has stopped working. What happened? Okay. Traders buy carbide from welding material leaders or chemical shops, not caring about the food safety laws. So far, they can meet market demands or beat spoilage deadlines. Another thing is consumer ignorance. Most buyers don't even know how to tell between a fruit that ripes naturally and a one that is forced chemically to ripe. Huh? Case study, a roadside seller in a particular town used crushed calcium carbide wrapped in a paper and placed in a basket of unripe mangoes to sprinkle some water and cover it. The next day, the mango looks ripe and juicy, but still tastes sour. Weeks later, her customer's child suffered from severe vomiting and abdominal pain. Another wholesaler treated bunches of unripe bananas with carbide and sells them to retailers across markets. The bananas rot quickly from the inside and cause mouth ulcers and burning sensations when eaten. Inside is rotting, outside looks good. Okay? In Nigeria, there are multiple reports from state and food drug agencies like NAFDAC has raised alert over illegal carbide ripening. Yes, I know NAFDAC has done this. That's even been published, especially in northern and southwestern produce hubs. NAFDAC has tried in these areas. Okay, what are the health effects of this? Please note that calcium carbide is not food grade, and it always contains some amount of arsenic, some amount of phosphorus hydride, and lead impurities. Lead. In the future, I will make an expose about lead contamination. Lead is not your friend. So all of these are highly toxic. The short-term effects are burning throat and mouth, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal cramps, headaches, dizziness, excessive taste, and dry mouth. Yeah, dry mouth. Like my mouth is dry now. I need some water. Now, what are the long-term effects? Kidney, liver damage. You can see they are still going to the kidney and liver because this is where, according to our biology, eh, carbohydrates, proteins, fat, and oil, when eaten, this is where digestion and breaking down takes place. Excess this is stored in the liver. Excess this is stored in the liver. It is converted. We have talked about selective absorption. We talk about reabsorption and so on and so forth. Okay. neurological symptoms like memory loss. You see people at old age, they are shaking. Those are neurological symptoms. Confusion, increased risk of cancer and developmental disorders in children. Children do not get developed the way they are supposed to do. Respiratory issues because of the phosphine gas that comes with this compound that I was mentioning, phosphorus hydride. Okay? Now, children and the aged are those. Okay, children, the aged, and those with diabetes and blood pressure issues are often more hit by this kind of poisoning. So, what do we do? Sorry for that. Avoid overtly bright and evenly colored fruits. Fruit ripening shows natural variation. Fruits don't just ripe everywhere. There should be some variation. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Buy from trusted, transparent sellers, especially from local fruit farmers. That's where I go to buy my fruits. Wash and peel fruits thoroughly before eating. If possible, ripen fruits at home in brown paper bags with a ripe banana or apple. What do they say? Ripen fruits at home. Okay? If possible, if you want, buy the ones that are not completely ripe, let them come and ripe in your home. Okay? For government and regulatory agencies, ban the sale of calcium carbide to non-industrial users. Ban. Inspect markets and farms for illegal ripening practices. Train food inspectors. Do we still have food inspectors these days? To detect artificially ripened produce. And then provide safe alternatives like ethylene sachets for farmers. Okay? Safe alternatives. For scientists, we can develop low-cost kits for detecting calcium carbide in fruits. We can research natural and safe ripening techniques using controlled temperature and ethylene instead of calcium carbide. Ethylene is, okay? Let me not go into the chemistry. Educate traders and farmers through local workshops on food safety practices. It is not every banana where yellow they ripe through. Dem don bag some with chemicals wey fit kill you small small o. E go burn your throat, e go mess up your belle, and still e go dey sweet like say na better fruit. Na lie. If e too yellow or e dey ripe too uniformly or e dey ripe too fast, abeg shine your eye. I take another example, guys. Grain stored with insecticides. Mhm. Grain stored with insecticides. Let's bring our mind back. In some markets, when we have large scale sales of some grains like beans, millet, rice, wheat, groundnut, even in the farm, they are stored and preserved so that control release to the market. But the problem is that some of them are preserved with deadly insecticides like sniper. Mhm. Sniper is one of the popular insecticides we know in Africa and in some other parts of the world. It's selling so much. So they use it to preserve. The sellers knowingly or unknowingly sprinkle or place the insecticide sachets in grain bags so that they can kill or prevent insects from infesting like weevils and the rest, especially during long-term storage. Okay? Unknowingly to the buyers, these grains carry the toxic residues that will remain even after washing or cooking. They come out go anywhere. Some will come out, some will stay there. Okay? The poison finds its way from the sack to the stove, and from the stove to the stomach, and silently harm families across the homes. NAFDAC has once raised alarm over this particular case. And because of high cost of gas, people don't parboil grains again. The parboiling would have also helped. People just wash and then, you know what I mean now? What about maize and millet? that is always grounded fresh. These ones you don't need to parboil. It stands a chance of insecticide residues. The reason for this practice, because these maize attract pests like weevils, but so they're especially used to pursue them. Eh? Farmers and sellers, nobody wants their product to spoil or the color to be colorate or the market to be rejected. So they find a way to preserve their market and then insecticide. Okay? Instead of investing in proper drying or sun preservation or food grade storage, traders use industrial pesticides to avoid losses. They just want something that is cheap. Ignorance and negligence. Something that once the pesticide dries or ages out, the grains will become safe. So many traders are unaware of or they ignore the long-term effects of such chemicals on the human health. With enforcement, despite that NAFDAC has tried to ban the use of snipers in food environment, open misuse is still continuing, especially in rural markets. In 2009, NAFDAC confirms widespread misuse of sniper to preserve foodstuffs, especially beans. A food safety inspection team in Enugu found out that several grain traders openly admitted using insecticides to protect what was their excuse? To protect the beans from worm. So they even accepted. It's not a hidden thing. In Ogun State, a mother boiled beans soaked with insecticide and her family suffers vomiting, stomach cramps, and dizziness. Classic signs of acute chemical exposure. Now, what are the immediate symptoms of this? Nausea, vomiting, breathing difficulty, confusion and headaches, burning sensation in the chest and throat. In the large scale, many of us know the effect of sniper, so I don't need to tell you. Neurotoxicity, it damages brain function, it disrupts hormonal functioning, it damages the liver and kidney, it causes reproductive issues and high risk of cancer. This is what we call sniper. Diclovos is an organophosphate compound that attacks the nervous system. Normally, if you put it in paste, it will have in the grains, it will attack that of paste first, and then the residual will also come and attack over. What do we do? Buy grains from trusted sources, open the sack and check for strong chemical smell, wash thoroughly and soak in water for long periods. Although this doesn't eliminate the risk, but it can reduce. If need be, use hot water. This is even better. Use hot water to wash. Avoid grains with unnatural grinders. There was a place I traveled to. I bought beans. The beans was very bright. It was shining. It looks like they were polishing. Hmm? When I came home, I had to soak the beans overnight. Soak it in water overnight. The next morning, when I took the beans, I washed it almost 4 times. I was getting white substances out. I observed that the the thing they used in polishing it was coming out. In fact, that morning, the beans had started to germinate. Small germinate started coming out. And then when I boiled it, I saw white foam, white foam, white foam. The question is, did I eat the beans? Oh boy, I don't want to go there. For regulators and government, enforce the ban of food storage with insecticides. There are no two ways about it. We have to ban these things. Monitor markets, especially during harvest seasons. Introduce mobile grain drying centers and incentives. Because if these things are available, then we can have chemical free storage. Make available some low risk insecticides. Yeah, there are some insecticides that have low risk. Some of them are health friendly, but farmers cannot buy them because of the high cost. Make available. And then sponsor research on bio-inspired pest repellents and biopesticides. So people are going into these researches to produce repellents for pests and pesticides. Sponsor this research. By the time we get the product, it goes into the market. At the end, now let me ask you, who doesn't buy from the market? From the governor to the house member to the permanent secretary to the mobile staff, every of us, to the mechanic, to the shoemaker, to the repairer, or all of us buy from this market. So last, all of us are affected. That is why government needs to come in. That is why regulators needs to come in. I don't think regulators buy beans abroad. Do they buy? So you know what I'm talking about. Please, let us do something. For researchers, develop bio-based grain preservatives. Oh, I am giving you expo. Do you know neem? Do you know pepe? Some local herbs. These are research in progress. Okay, we are doing a lot of things in progress. Introduce low-cost storage techniques. Like PICS bags. I saw this in Brazil. Yes, I saw this in Brazil. I also saw it in China. I think Kenya is trying to do something like this. Create rapid test kit for chemical residues. Test kits for residue. We are looking for funding to do this. A lot of test kits. We are looking for funding to do this. Now, please don't say sniper they keep beans from spoiling. No. But the real wahala be say dem dey kill human beings wey chop the beans. Eh? Make hunger no come make man chop poison o. E no suppose be like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you want me to suggest or propose several research-based projects that has been inspired by this expose? As I was preparing these materials, I listed so many projects. Are you interested in getting a framework plan on the ones already suggested or other ones? Hey, hit my inbox, comment. Let us meet in the comment section, please. Now, before we get to the next thing, a 2022 report in Lagos revealed that several meat sellers used formalin meant for corpses. Make e no be say I just dey talk this thing. There are also reports that traders soak yam in chemicals to keep them white. Hmm? We don't have enough time to talk about the hidden poisons in cosmetics, such as mercury, in skin lightening creams that have destroyed people's skins and complexion. I'm going to talk about this. I have a lot of things in stock to talk about. So that is why you need to subscribe. That is why you need to always subscribe. So always come in here, like, so that whenever a new, like in the next 2 days, I'm going to post another one, it will notify you and you come and watch. How about household chemicals misused or stored carelessly? What about kerosene in water bottles? What about bleach stored near food items? These are potentials. Now, all these ones are the ones that you take unintentionally. Poisons that come to your home unintentionally, unknowingly in many more cases. But there's what we call intentional poisoning. This one, quick action. The other ones are maybe slow action a little. But this one, quick action. How to deal with these poisons at home. Let us go there. Now, intentional poisoning is the one that somebody puts for you in order to kill you, either slowly or quickly. Many people don't want to kill you slowly. They want to kill you quickly. So that is one of the stuff's intentional poison. Please, a minute. Just a minute. Let me check what I have here. Okay. So, who are those that are likely to be victims of this? spouses and romantic partners. Whenever there is domestic dispute, jealousy, infidelity, or inheritance battle, a wife may poison the husband, or the husband may poison the wife, maybe for suspected cheating or whatever. What about business rivals in competitive trades like food vending, herbal medicine, street hawking? Rivals may poison each other to eliminate competition. Okay? A food seller has once placed a poison on the competitor's ingredient or product so that when the guy sold, the people had that bought from the guy had problems, and as a result, the guy was taken out of market, and then he remained. Okay, wealthy individuals and landlords, when greed is the target, relatives or tenants may poison them to inherit the property or avoid paying rent. So this one is often poisoned by someone within their circle, a domestic staff, a relative, or a tenant. One can even poison his friend or brother to inherit a beautiful wife or a property. Let me say it again. Then fit brother fit poison brother. A friend can poison a friend to go and take over the wife and the property. I say it again. It happens. What about political opponents, political aspirants? Eh? When they want to eliminate opposition or competitors in politics or those that write this, write that about them, they can use poisoning. Okay? They do that through food and drinks in meetings. There is another form of inhaled poisons that the people in political circles do. So if you criticize government, you do this, you do that, and government does not like you, they can first arrest you, charge you to court. Before charging you to court, send you to prison first. And in that prison, they can spray one or two things. So you inhale without knowing. You inhale. You inhale. After like 6 months that you have inhaled enough, they can even free you, charge your case to court and free you. But when they free you, few months after they free you, you are gone because by that time the poison has taken full effect. As I'm going, I'll talk about half-life of a poison, how the poison works. What about children and teenagers when they are direct targets or collateral targets? Either they fail to poison the parents, so they just want to poison the child so that it will pain the parents. Jealousy of a rival. Also in ritual killings. After ritual killings, they now disguise it as poison. In fact, in some regions in the world, because of ethnic cleansing, they can use poison. I didn't mention a region. What about traditional healers and herbalists? Eh? Uh-huh. They use poison so that you suspect it to be spiritual power. They tell you, don't worry, I'll go and do. But then they use poison. What about tenant disputes, land disputes, neighbors, community members involved in land disputes, inheritance? These people can be victims. Slow poisoning through water, through drinks, or during reconciliation meeting. When you have disputes, when you have inheritance or land dispute, and they call you for reconciliation meeting, carry your drink if you are a drinker. Carry your water because you don't know what you are going there to take. What about students? Rivalry culties, or even those that are jealous of your academic appearance or performance, or those that are jealous of your girlfriend or your boyfriend in school. Eh? They can invite you to a party and during sharing of drinks as you are poisoned. Farmers may be poisoned by rival or grape workers. Traders may be poisoned by other competing for territory or customer base. Everybody, almost everybody is likely a victim. What about in church or in the mosque or in the religious setting generally? By leaders fighting over a congregation or even over a position. This can even has even been done in communion. Yes, we have a case like that in Uyo. In the workplace, it is not everybody that likes your face. Nobody, not everybody that likes your progress. Not everybody that is smiling with you is in support of that your promotion that is coming. So they may end up. Uh-huh. In sports settings, if you assign me and we are going for a tournament and I want to do something to bench you and take over, even your own friend or colleague can poison you for no just cause. So anybody can be a victim. What about other places at home? A trusted person, a mate, can contaminate food. Knowingly or unknowingly, a visitor may tamper with food. Children, you can keep your bowl somewhere there which you drink for one thing or the other, and children will go and see it and carry and drink. I remember when I was a child, the story they said, how many of you know what is called, what do they call that thing? Potash. Yes. My grandfather used to put it some in some agbo and drink. And me, I went and drank potash. They had to use oil and whatever to bring me back. Okay? So remember I said by the wrong person. So maybe the wrong person goes to drink and then it becomes a problem. That's where the wrong person comes in. So if it is the right person, fine. But what about the wrong person? If it is taken by the wrong person, then there is a problem. Okay? Now let's progress. In local restaurants, I'm going to discuss this with you. Bars and canteens. Have you ever heard about a canteen that they say they collect water from mortuary to come and use in cooking so that they can attract more customers? Yeah, we have been hearing of those stories. What about those bars that add more things to their mix so that people chop one, chop two? That's what we call it. Chop one, chop 2. Uh-huh. The thing may be poisoning people in batches. What about people that sell food and they add excessive seasoning so that the thing will be sweet? Many people do so many things in local restaurants, in bars, and in canteens. In fact, let me tell you, our life is in the hands of God. You don't know what you have eaten. What about in school hostels and in campuses? What about online orders and deliveries? Do you know who is in charge? Do you know who prepared that thing that you are taking? Do you know if a product has been tampered with or and a vendor that gives adulterated products? So we are going to finally divide and discuss in the next episode the things you want to do, the things you are going to do. Let me give you a clue. Intentional poisoning. I have mentioned this and mentioned that. Okay. So we are going to common food and drinks poison in Nigeria. Oh God. We are going to discuss this in the next episode. I don't want to bore you. So what you need to do is please quickly subscribe, like, and share. Drop your question and stay away and ready for the next episode. Because in the next episode, we are going to talk about the different types of poisons, how they are put, how half-life of a poison, how it works in your body, the things that you can do when you when poison comes to your body. And then please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much, and do have a lot. Stay away from poison. Now that you know.